Hello and welcome back. This is Candace from Candoodle, and today I have a platform pop-up interactive card, so let's get started. So today I wanted to play with my new Lawn Fawn platform pop-up. It is not new, but it was newer to me when I was first making this card. And I know interactive dies can be a little bit intimidating when you first start out, but this die is so much easier to put together than I thought it would be. And I actually find it easier than a lot of other interactive dies. It does take a little bit on your first try to kind of get the hang of things and where they go and which way to fold things. But the Lawn Fawn intro video, which I will link to down below in the description, is really, really helpful and a great place to start if you are making this die for the first time. I think I actually had it playing alongside to make sure that it did everything right as I was going. But this die is really, really fun, and I love when cards are 3D, and this one is great because it still folds to go in an envelope. It can fold flat and go through the mail, which is really great, and I think it has a lot of impact if somebody does want to stand up their card and display it. It is very 3D and kind of forms a structure on its own, so I think it's super, super fun, especially for a thank you card, which is what I'm making today. So as you can see, I cut all of my pieces out of black cardstock, and I wanted my base to be black so I could have fun with some of the other things that were going on the card. And I put my double-sided adhesive where it was supposed to go based on the Lawn Fawn video, and then I'm going to come in and get my T-shaped pieces ready. So I'm putting those through the little notches in the base pieces, and then I'm going to tape them down. Now with this, I am using double-sided tape that's really quite strong, so I know it's going to stay. But since I've been making a couple of these, I actually even like to reinforce my double-sided tape with glue. I find that the double-sided tape holds really well, but if you want it to hold really well over like the long term, I only know this because some of my family members keep my cards for a very long time. I find that liquid glue is the best to really hold things and make sure that they stay. So I'd like to add a little bit of that as well, just for some extra longevity if you're into that sort of thing. So then I'm taking my final T-shaped piece and I'm gonna put that in the center of where these two base pieces are gonna come together. And I like to use a lot of double-sided tape here just to make sure that things are gonna be nice and solid and stick together, especially because this is how the two halves of your card are going to hold together. So once I put my T-shaped piece down, I actually usually now add glue in there as well, just to hold it really well, but you don't need to. It's just one of those extra things you can do if you are worried if this is going to stay together, or if perhaps you're giving this to a younger child who might open and close it a lot or play with it a little bit roughly. I also like to use my bone folder to go over all of the places where I did adhere things with double-sided tape, just to make sure that it's burnished down really, really well. And I find that that extra step can actually help quite a bit. And then I'm going to finish off by taking off that last little piece and sticking down my sides. And then we have our platform. So I cut out my back piece in some white cardstock because this is going to form the background of my scene. And then I also cut out the Whimsy stamp stethoscope die, which is super, super cute. And I cut it from black cardstock, and then I cut the earpieces as well as the diaphragm piece from silver cardstock to add a little bit of metallic shine and to also make it look a little bit more realistic, because this is going to be a thank you card that is going to one of the pediatrics residents that I worked with over the last year, who is super, super great and a wonderful mentor. So I wanted to make him a really special card. And so when I was making this card, I was really careful where I put my metallic pieces. I find that they tend to crease a little bit more than regular cardstock. So I did try to keep the metallic pieces away from where that background piece had its fold or score lines, just to make sure that it wouldn't crease and look funny. And once I was happy with that, I set it aside and did some of my other die cuts. So I stamped and colored a bunch of different medical themed images. This Band-Aid is from the Create a Smile Doctor's Helper stamp set. And then I used the Lawn Fawn Germ-Free Bear, and I made him hold a little sentiment that says, "Thanks a ton." And I did that by masking and just drawing in the little rectangle. And I also used the Purell bottle from the same stamp set and the mask, because unfortunately I was working with him mostly during the COVID years. So we were wearing masks quite a bit, and we still always wear masks in healthcare. So I thought that the mask was very fitting for this one. And then for each of my stamped images, I like to pop it up on just a piece of acetate in between. And I generally use kind of old packaging and things like that and cut it into strips. And then I put another plain die cut behind just to make sure that it looks really nice from both the front and the back. But that's just an extra step that I prefer to do and is definitely not necessary. And then I kind of just fiddle around and make sure that all of those are kind of popped up in the places that I want them at the right height and the right kind of angle before I double-sided tape them down to the T-piece. And then I come in and add the finishing off piece, which is kind of like a hill shape, to the front. And that way it is adhered between those two pieces and gives it some extra stability. Then I'm coming in with my little bear, and I glued my colored in image to the front of the hill, and then the back I glued just an extra die cut to add some stability. And then I came in with my Lawn Fawn Henry's ABCs and cut out Dr. Do, which is the name of the doctor I was working with, from some blue glitter cardstock. And I am just going to adhere those down across the front of the platform. That way the whole sentiment reads, "Thanks a ton, Dr. Do," which I thought was really, really cute. And I love that these fit across the front really nicely, but I could have went on to the sides if I needed to. To finish off the card, I did die cut from black cardstock those side pieces from the platform pop-up die just to make the back look a little bit more finished. And I also cut a rectangle to fit across the back just to make it look nice and seamless and give me a place where I could write my thank you message. And there we have the final card. I think this turned out super, super cute, and I'm definitely going to be making some for the other folks that I've worked with across the next few years. You'll have to let me know if you like it down below in the comments. As always, I appreciate the time that you spend here with me. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in another video. Bye!